Tonight, we examine a tense Senate exchange over one of President Trump's central economic promises, a so-called golden age of American manufacturing. 1 year into the administration, lawmakers are pressing for measurable results. Has there truly been a manufacturing boom, or do the numbers tell a more complicated story? What's at stake here isn't just political messaging. It's jobs, small businesses, and a broader direction of U.S. economic policy.
Thank you, Chair Scott, and welcome, Secretary Bessent. President Trump promised that his administration would usher in a, quote, golden age of American manufacturing. In September 2024, at a rally in my home state of Georgia, Donald Trump said, quote, "We're going to have a manufacturing boom." Secretary Bessent, we're now more than 1 year into the Trump administration. Yes or no? Has there been a manufacturing boom in the United States?
There are the beginnings of a manufacturing boom. We have intentions, factory groundbreakings, sir.
So your answer to that is yes, there's been a manufacturing boom?
That we are at the beginning of a manufacturing boom.
Okay, you and I could agree to disagree, but more importantly, manufacturers are telling us something different. Manufacturers are struggling because of the president's policies, and that's what they keep telling us, and the facts keep telling us. In fact, just this past Monday, the Wall Street Journal published this article entitled, "U.S. Manufacturing is in Retreat, and Trump's tariffs aren't helping." I request consent to enter this article into the hearing record. Mr. Chairman?
Without objection.
Secretary Bessent, do you know how many manufacturing jobs the United States has lost since Liberation Day in April 2025, when the president first announced his tariffs?
Yes, Senator, because you were out of the room, but it was already brought up.
We do many things, sir. I don't need you to tell me where I was.
72,000, and I will point out that the Wall Street Journal
72,000
is not called the Main Street Journal, and they care more about Wall Street than Main
Sir,
Street.
I'm not asking you to opine on the Wall Street Journal. I have 3 minutes. Just answer the questions that I'm actually asking you. So 72,000 manufacturing jobs, according to the Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis. Thank you for answering the question. Manufacturers shed workers in each of the 8 months after President Trump unveiled his tariffs on what he called Liberation Day. I would submit that it's a strange liberation and a curious freedom that leaves you unemployed.
This is the central tension of the hearing. The administration frames its policy around long-term investment, pointing to factory groundbreakings and capital expenditure incentives. Critics, however, are citing employment data and short-term job losses. It's worth noting that manufacturing trends can lag behind policy changes, and economists often debate whether tariffs protect domestic industry or raise input costs for producers. The 72,000 job figure becomes a symbolic battleground. Is it temporary adjustment pain or evidence of policy miscalculation? And when political leaders invoke headlines or economic statistics, how should viewers evaluate which data points tell the fuller story?
Even worse, smaller businesses are struggling to keep up with the tariff chaos. Big manufacturers may have the resources to shift suppliers. And I need you to understand the spirit of my questions. I spend a lot of time talking to the people in Georgia who've given me the great honor of representing them in the United States Senate. And so this is about them. And especially our small businesses. They don't have the ear of the president. They don't have access to Mar-a-Lago. And so they're not able to insulate their company from the worst of the tariffs. Secretary Bessent, small businesses without the same resources or unfettered access to the president, what should those businesses do for the relief if they can't get into Mar-a-Lago?
Again, sir, small business confidence is up, and we are seeing that the one big beautiful bill gives the full expensing for equipment, factories, and ag structures.
They are telling us that it's more expensive to make basic things. We are moving in the wrong direction. The facts don't lie. The president lies often. but the facts don't lie. In fact, if you're saying we're at the beginning, basically your answer to those small businesses is wait a little while. Is that the answer? That a year from
you ask about manufacturing.
that's right.
So
I'm asking you,
and I am saying
I'm asking you about this manufacturing boom. Will we see
yes,
something different a year from now?
We are going to see it. I was just in my home state, Senator Scott's state, South Carolina, that we are seeing a boom there. And I believe Georgia has very good pro-business policies. I'm sure you will see a boom there also. The factory build intentions are quite high.
I'll tell you what I see. I see, as I talk to folks, that it's more expensive to build things in America. I see that we've lost 72,000 jobs a year into this administration. We've lost manufacturing jobs every month since he called for Liberation Day. And meanwhile, folks who are working in these small businesses trying to make their lives work, they're seeing higher costs. They're seeing their costs go up for groceries. They're seeing their costs go up for electricity. They're seeing costs go up for health care. And I think the American people are still waiting for a solution. So far, we haven't seen one coming out of this Trump tariffs regime. The Baptist preacher is done, and I have no time left. Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary.
Inflation.
This exchange highlights a broader policy debate playing out across the country, whether tariffs and industrial incentives are laying the groundwork for a long-term revival or creating short-term strain for businesses and workers. Supporters argue that investment indicators point to future gains. Critics focus on current job losses and rising costs. Ultimately, the question may hinge on timing and on which economic indicators voters trust most. What do you think? Are these policies planting the seeds of growth or deepening economic pressure? Share your perspective in the comments below. And if you value balanced, fact-based analysis like this, be sure to like, subscribe, and follow for more in-depth breakdowns of the stories shaping our economy and democracy.